so we have the three different cases that we are going to introduce in the next chapter. And the first one I'm going to share about will be the multi-days tour. Multi-days, the meaning of multi-days tour here, I will just say that it's over 15 days. Okay, so it's a very long-term journey, the long-term duration staying in Taiwan. So for the long duration, the clients might not to be they might don't want to stay in the same place or like the similar characteristic of the city. So like the clients might request that they can stay at maybe 2 to 3 nights in one place and then just change to another place and then going around the Taiwan like for the long duration staying. Okay, and because they have the more time and the more like free and easy day so that they can have the deeper experiences with the local culture. So staying in one place for 2 to 3 days, which means maybe just for one day you can explore the city itself, and maybe on the second day we can join some workshop for doing some activities. And for the third day, we might just go into the remote area, like in the mountain area, or we can just go to the island around Taiwan, like you can experience more and deeper of the culture. And the third part, because like for tours over 15 days, the clients might request some free and easy day for both clients and tour guide. So between the tour, like I maybe just after a week, I will leave one free and easy day for the clients so that they can explore the place on their own. And also the tour guide can take a little bit rest. And after the free and easy day, and they will just meet together and then following their trip afterwards. Okay, and sometimes the family members they travel around together, but they will have like 2 or 3 different groups together. So I will take an example later that there are 8 people traveling together, but they are 2 different groups. Like the group A, 4 members in the group, and group B, also 4 members in a group. And both of the group are a family, like parents with their children together, traveling together. So different family travel together. You need to write down different itinerary for them because they might have different budget. They might have the different requirements for the tour, for the accommodation. Okay, so here is the example of the itinerary, of the description of itinerary. Okay, again the same. On the first day will be the arrival day, because the 2 family, one will be Tony's family, and the other one will be James' family. So I'll use Tony's and James as the group A and the group B. Okay, so on the first day, arrival day, Tony's family will arrive at the flight, like CI-56, and then the accommodation. I didn't put any details here because they booked the accommodation on their own. So I just use the different color to highlight that you need to book the reservation by yourself. So like no breakfast, include no lunch and no dinner, and leave the first arrival day free and easy. And for the James family, they take the different flight, arrive in Taiwan, so it will be the next day. And also for the arrival and the pickup transfer day, right? Okay, so I put their flight information here and what's their estimated arrival time and which hotel that they book on their own. So I just put all the information here. And on the second day, on December 14th, they will travel together. The 2 families will travel together. Okay, so today we are going to do the Taipei tour and pick up the time at your hotel. Okay, so like when will we meet and where are we going to do today? like 大道城 Street or like the Yongkang Street. Okay, so just put the details of the itinerary here, also the inclusion. Okay, on the third day, the day 3, they separate in their tour into the morning tour and the afternoon tour. So in the morning, it's a cooking class tour, and both of the families they just meet the cooking class teacher in front of their restaurant. So they were doing the 小笼包 and the beef noodles class, and including the traditional market visiting. So I will put the menu what they are going to do in the cooking class. I'll put it here. And after the cooking class, the tour guide will meet there again at 1:30 for the following afternoon tour. Like they are going to visit the Danshui or street and where they are going to have the local food as dinner. Okay, so also inclusions here. And the words that I put in red as a notice for like when will the class start and when will the class end, and like the driver, where will the drive meet you, and when will the tour guide are going to meet you at a place. Okay, and we will see that in the following itinerary, the two family will traveling again together, but with different budget. So like the Tony's family and James family, they both of them require different types of room separately. So here I need to indicate very clearly that for both of the families, to let them know that like what type of room that they will have. Okay, so for James family, they will have the street view deluxe, like which floor they will be, and what kind of room type the Tony's family will have. Okay, so in each day and in each different hotel, they will stay in different types of room. Here, like you can see that the Tony's family will have the twin bed, like 2 twin beds, because they wanted to sleep separately from their children. And James, they were just 4 people to stay in one room, the courtroom. And the type of the hotel, I will just put in here. Because they are although they travel together, but because they are 2 different groups and they would like to pay separately, so I need to put all the information, all the inclusion here, like and with some like special notes, so that they can know like what type of room that they are going to have for 2 different groups. Okay, so for the multi-days tour, that if they are traveling as a small group, you need to notice that what's the repeated place or the similar visiting for the clients, because they are going to stay like maybe around 2 weeks in Taiwan. So what kind of activities that you can arrange for them, and because they have the more spare time in the place, so you can arrange some deeply experienced activities for them. And also because they will stay in the same place more than 15 days, so leave some space, and free and easy day will be recommended for the clients and the tour guides, so that they can explore the city on their own, and the tour guide can take a little bit rest for the following trip. And also, if like the different groups, they are traveling together with the same itinerary, but they would like to pay separately, just like the Tony and James family, for example, I will send the same quotation to them, but I put the different description of the room or of the price separately, so that the Tonys and the James family can know what kind of room they are going to have, and also like how much would they need to pay. because they are based on the two different groups. Okay, so this is the case for the multi-days tour, and the next one I'm going to introduce about the some spatial condition. Okay, so we have made some like special condition, mostly is related to the religion's culture differences between from Taiwan, or maybe like the member of the group they have some healthy issues, maybe physical problems, so they need some like the wheelchair friendly place, and so the time arrangement or the activity must be more flexible. They can change instantly due to the client's requirements. Also, the personality of the tour guide will be very important. That they might be a little bit comparing to the other group. They might be more passionate, or they might to be more cared about the emergent cases happens, what they can do with this, and what they can do for the clients. Okay, so we will take the wheelchair friendly cases for example. Like for most of the hotel in Taiwan, they have the special room, maybe one or two rooms in each hotel that they can provide. It is provide to the people who is taking the wheelchair, the visitors together with them. So if you are finding the hotel, you might saying that you have these special requirements, so that they can arrange in advance for you. And also for the some religious differences, we will take in example here. You can see that there are the group the members from the other country, and they believe in they are Muslim. So because in Taiwan we believe, the majority believes in Buddhas or the Buddhism or the Taoism, so we might not be so familiar with Muslim, what's their culture for, but we should be respectful. And during the trip, they might have like some their personal religion, like they need to do the prayers during the trip, or they have some dietary restriction that we need to take care about. Okay, so you can also find the much more information here. Like we have our tourism, the Taiwan Tourism Bureau has the website for the person who has the special requirements to eat with halal or to stay in a place for the Muslim. So you can see the website here that in different places we have the licensed restaurants for the person with the requirements. You can find much more information here. Also in like located in Taipei city or in other city, you can find the where you can eat or what you can where you can stay. Okay, so you can see the website here. Okay, and then so that's the case sharing for the special condition. Maybe we will, they have like some special requirements for the health issues or the religious differences that the travel consultant might need to know more information about while you are planning the itinerary for them. So you can give them some spare time to do their religion stuff, that the tour guide will be much more flexible, so that they can change the tour like based on the client's requirements. Okay, and the next one. Okay, the last case I'm going to share about will be the okay, so be celebrity or the KOL, the key opinion leaders, who is invited, who is sponsored by the government or by the other travel agent. visit Taiwan. And like the first key points that they are invited to promote the place, the special activity, or like some appointed place that they would like to promote. So they have like some special itinerary that the itinerary needs to include. And also the second point will be because they have like some promotion stuff need to be completed, so they need to doing the filming or the shooting for promoting the destination. So one place, like the normal group, they might just need to stay for 15 to 20 minutes to taking some pictures. But for like the celebrity or like some KOL, they might need to extend the staying duration around 1 or 2 hours for more flexibility, so that they can complete their work to promote the destination. Okay, and the third part will be like they might need some like the personal free time, because they would like to post they update the introduction of the place, and they would like to like posting some photos for sharing about their experience of the place. Okay, so here is one of the examples from the Taiwan Tourism Bureau, the San Francisco one. And the topic of this celebrity they are going to visit about this small island of Taiwan, which is the Xiaoliuqiu is in the east part of Taiwan. No, it's in the west part of Taiwan. Okay, and so on their arrival time, they are visiting like in a place in Taipei, and after Taipei, they went to Kaohsiung, and then from Kaohsiung to Pingtung, they take the ferry to Xiaoliuqiu to stay for a few nights. Okay, and the following will be introduced. I'm going to introduce will be the KOL from Air Canada. They are sponsored by Air Canada, and I'm going to show you some videos after they coming to Taiwan, and they introduce the Taiwan about their videos.
Our first impression came before we even left the tarmac, and it set the tone for the entire trip. Okay, we just got off the plane, and the woman who was sitting in front of us heard us talking about how this was our first time in Taiwan, and she leaned around, she's like, "Welcome to Taipei! I hope you have a wonderful time." And I just thought, wow, what an introduction to this country.
Such warm people so far from what we can tell.
Yeah. On the drive into Taipei, you can't help but notice that one building towers above the rest of the city. There is no massive skyline here, and that's what makes it stand out, like one tall tree that's stretched above the others to get a better view. And a better view is exactly what we wanted, so we went there first to start at the top. This was the tallest building in the world from 2004 to 2010 when Dubai took over. It's meant to look like a big stick of bamboo, but it's 101 stories, which is what gives it the name Taipei 101. We just come up to the 91st floor, which is outdoors, just in time for the sunset, and there's a very nice breeze up here too. day in Taiwan also happened to be the hottest day in recorded history in 122 years. Good timing, eh? The perfect day to head to the beach for a sand sculpture festival. I've never been to anything like this. I used to make a few sand sculptures as a kid like everyone, but this is some pretty next level looking stuff. Just another day at the beach in Taiwan looking at international sand sculptures.
Someone's got to do it, I guess.
The record-breaking temperature already had us breaking a sweat, so we chased the breeze by cruising into the countryside. We rented some bikes, and it's going to get a lot cooler and a lot darker because this is a 2-kilometer long tunnel we're about to go through, and it was originally built to connect Taipei with the East Coast because the terrain is really mountainous unless you cut right through. Riding through this old train tunnel was my first taste of how Taiwan looks forward while preserving what's come before. Some parts of the world are eager to knock down old things, as if they somehow hold back the future. But here, there's an understanding that the present is deeply rooted in the past. It's inspiring to see what's possible when abandoned sites are transformed and people move back in. We visited a place where it wasn't people that moved back, it was nature, reclaiming her territory. We're in Tainan at the Anping treehouse, and this is no ordinary treehouse. It is literally a house, or a warehouse formerly, that has been taken over by huge banyan trees. Tainan is an old city in Taiwan, and this whole area was full of warehouses. And they were abandoned at a certain point, and nature just moved in, and they're here to stay. And now it's called the treehouse because that's what it's become. Everywhere that you look, out of the bricks, out of little crevices, crawling up and over all of these incredible beautiful limbs of this huge banyan tree, multiple banyan trees. This is definitely something that I love. If you're someone like me who has ever kind of thought about or wondered what the world will be like without humans and how nature will take over and what that might look like, it's so interesting to see it here and just seeing how this tree just envelops this building and takes over. And it's become this beautiful testament to the fact that whatever we build, nature is bigger. And when humans aren't here anymore, nature will be. It's staggering to see how quickly tree giants can break their fists through brick walls and swing their legs over the eaves, making rooftops into treetops. I always wanted to live in a treehouse growing up, just like Swiss Family Robinson, and I think I have found the perfect treehouse scenario here. Just find an old building, let the banyan trees move in first, then move in. I could totally live here. Would you live in this treehouse with me?
I would absolutely live in this treehouse with you.
Okay, when are we moving? I felt really at home in a country that sees the beauty in letting trees stretch their way into houses, piercing new holes to let the light in. Of course, light comes through wherever you look for it, even underground, like at the Formosa Boulevard subway station in Kaohsiung. It's amazing to see how light can transform a transient place full of rushed commuters into a place to pull over and look up. All of the glass was shipped to Taiwan from Germany, and as you look up, you'll see there are 4 distinct parts that represent the circle of life. First, water, which represents birth, then soil, which is growth, light is creativity, and fire, which represents destruction, but also rebirth, which brings you back full circle to water. Speaking of water, we boarded a ferry that zipped us across the waves to a tiny island called Xiaoliuqiu. This fleck of land is less than 7 square kilometers, more than enough room for all sorts of charm and discovery. We arrived in time to get a scooter and chase the sunset. As the sun went down, the moon came up, and we felt a particular kind of giddy freedom I've only ever found on 2 wheels. There's us, there's the moon. There's us, there's the moon. The next day, we got back on the scooter with a map in our hands and the intent to explore the entire island in our heads. Our first stop? One of Taiwan's most iconic landmarks that's made of coral limestone and sits in the shallows just shy of shore. Here on the island, one of the most recognizable landmarks that we really had to see is behind me. This is known as the flower vase because after years and years of erosion, it has this beautiful vase-like shape, and eventually, of course, it will tumble into the water, so we're just lucky to see it here while it's still standing. Island. We just stopped at the flower vase, and our next stop is the beauty cave. That breeze is heavenly. I could drive around here all day. Just arrived at the beauty cave and got our tickets. I think this very graphic illustration is meant to warn us about hitting our heads on the rocks. More warnings to watch our head. I guess they're serious, we better be careful. Oh yeah. Whoa. You'd have to shimmy through this part. Local legend goes that women used to come to this cave to wash their faces and hair. When men saw these bathing beauties emerge, they named it the Beauty Cave. Look how cute our Scooty looks in this parking lot. We just arrived at the Black Devil Cave and it's hot!
Oh.
I'm not gonna lie, it's hot! It's pretty cold, eh? I feel like I should have brought a sweater.
I'm absolutely free.
It looks like it.
I'm totally
Oh
freezing.
yeah. You know what?
Someone get me a sweater.
We should put a thermal on. Yeah,
Oh.
for sure. Did I mention it was a bit hot? Water time. It's not even cold. It's the best thing I've ever had. Sometimes drinking water just isn't enough to cool you down, and the only solution is full body immersion. We are driving to the water because we're going snorkeling in search of sea turtles! At the snorkel shop, we got fitted with wetsuits, booties, and life jackets. Snorkeling!
Can you swim?
Yeah, okay. I've been snorkeling and scuba diving in different places, but never seen a sea turtle. I felt hopeful that this would finally be the day as we got back on the scooter in head-to-toe neoprene and drove down to the beach.
So turtles.
We took hold of a rope and floated out to deeper waters. I felt cooled down and energized bobbing along. It was heaven. I felt overcome. My hands flew to my heart as the words "thank you" vaulted out of it, sprang from my mouth, and leapt up through my snorkel. I was overwhelmed, and all I could think was, I'm in Taiwan. My arms and legs move, my heart beats, my lungs breathe. I am so lucky. A moment of grace that you recognize from the inside as it's happening, which amplifies it and your heart swells in a lasting way. We saw more than one turtle, and each time made my heart feel more and more elasticized. I thought my heart might burst when one turtle, the biggest one, came right up to us. We swam within a meter of him for what felt like an eternity. He was eating and didn't mind at all when we silently pulled up a chair at his dining table. He was right underneath me.
Yeah, it's not here. Wow! Woohoo! Yeah!
That is one of the most incredible things.
It is incredible!
like
And it's
you're gonna
huge, like this big.
I didn't know turtles could get that big.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's like my size. About the same size as
About
me.
the same size.
Oh my god. So cool.
After such a high on Xiaoliuqiu, we headed back to the mainland to get grounded. From the salt water of the sea to the fresh water of a lake, we found our footing again at Lotus Lake. We're in Kaohsiung at Lotus Lake, and I love the story of how this place came to be. It was built in 1976, and the man who ran the temple here said that the Buddha visited him in a dream, and he saw this image of the Buddha standing on top of a dragon. And the Buddha told him to build something in that image. So this is what they got. The word is that when you walk through the dragon's mouth, you are blessed. And all around are lotuses floating in the water, and lotuses represent purity. And when you first walk in, you'll also notice that there are a whole lot of turtles, because turtles here represent longevity.
And the last one I'm going to share about will be the video maker from France. And the topic is very famous for don't go to some place. And when the time they visit Taiwan, they stay in Taiwan around like a week, and then visit about as much as place they can, and then feel about the east and the west and the southern part of Taiwan to share more about the pictures and more about their opinions in this video.
Before you leave, remember to subscribe to our Instagram and see you soon for the next episode.